Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Broad strokes for broadband. Steuben County is hoping to get a grant that would allow thousands of homes and businesses in so-called dead zones to finally have reliable internet. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst has our top story.
Good evening, Ann. Steuben County is one of hundreds of counties vying for a federal broadband grant. This grant would funnel millions of dollars into the county for the building of reliable internet infrastructure in remote areas of the county.
Internet access has really become another utility.
Steuben County Manager Jack Wheeler says the county is doing everything it can to expand internet access to residents. The county is currently applying for a broadband grant from the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. If approved, the grant would provide $4 million for broadband infrastructure.
The proposal would reach about 2,400 unserved individuals as of right now, where their only access to internet is through slow satellite providers.
Beyond the broadband grant, Steuben County is looking to utilize money from the American Rescue Plan to help fill the internet gap.
If we can only use those dollars, what options do we have? How can we get creative to provide internet access to those that don't have it?
Wheeler says the circumstances of the pandemic showed local officials how vital internet access is to residents in remote areas of Steuben County.
Remote schooling, remote work, telehealth, telework, everything. It really is so very important for everyone in this county to have access to high-speed and reliable broadband.
Wheeler hopes to get approval for the grant at the beginning of next year. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Governor Hochul announced that Health Commissioner Dr. Howard Zucker resigned from his position. Dr. Zucker has been the state's top health official since his appointment in 2015. Under his watch, the Department of Health worked with hospitals across the state to prevent COVID patients from overwhelming hospitals. However, Dr. Zucker faced criticism for his handling of COVID deaths in nursing homes. In a press briefing, Governor Hochul thanked him for his service during the height of the pandemic. The state of New York is continuing its push to get more people to roll up their sleeves for the COVID-19 vaccine. On Wednesday, Governor Kathy Hochul announced that those who get vaccinated between now and October 15th can enter a sweepstakes to win lots of fun prizes like football tickets and special VIP in-game experiences. Some people could be getting a COVID-19 booster soon, but health experts say there's another vaccine people of all ages should consider, the flu shot. Britt Conway has the latest on booster news and the flu fears.
One dose, a second dose, and soon, for some, a third dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. Pfizer's booster just got the FDA's emergency use authorization, and today, a CDC panel will decide whether to recommend it. Then the CDC director signs off. The booster is targeted at people 65 and up, those at risk of severe disease, and people at risk because of their jobs, like healthcare workers, teachers, and grocery workers. The CDC is expected to fine-tune recommendations on how boosters should be given and talk about where we go from here.
I suspect what's going to happen is we'll continue to collect data on this cohort, 65 and over, and other people who are made eligible, and eventually the agency may walk down the authorization to younger age cohorts.
But there are still millions who haven't gotten their first shot. In the U.S. right now, on average, more than 2,000 people are dying from COVID-19 every day. And we're closing in on another threat, flu season, which kills about 12,000 up to 50,000 Americans every year. The American College of Emergency Physicians says there are early signs that the coming flu season could be severe. And with so many hospitals struggling already, health experts are recommending flu vaccines just in case.
But it's better to be prepared. And I think this is the part where humility really is a very important part of our science approach.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Contracting COVID-19 can cost you a lot, and we're talking about cold hard cash. Nonprofit group Fair Health released its new analysis of insurance claims. It found the average bill for COVID patients in the hospital is about $75,000. Now that jumps tremendously if there are any complexities, such as cases that require the use of ventilators or days in an ICU. Those cases cost on average more than $300,000. The nonprofit found even if you're not admitted into the hospital, you could pay several $100s to cover things like lab work, radiology, and cardiography procedures. According to Fair Health, patients with insurance pay an average of about $1,000, while non-insured patients frequently pay more than $2,500. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are in New York City today. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex joined New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and Governor Kathy Hochul visiting the One World Observatory. The visit marks the first public trip the pair has taken since they moved to California. Saturday, the Prince and Meghan will attend the Global Citizen Live event taking place inside Central Park. The event taking place to urge developed nations to donate COVID vaccines to those who need it most. SARE American Legion Post 283 donated $10,000 to Guthrie yesterday. The money will be used for Guthrie's Veteran Patient Assistance Fund, which helps vets and their family members that are struggling financially due to a chronic condition. To date, the SARE American Legion has donated more than $80,000 to Guthrie to help assist local veterans. With just days before a possible vote on a bipartisan infrastructure package, Democrats still don't have congressional consensus on a deal, but they say they're making progress. Caroline Shively has the latest from Washington.
The White House, the House, and the Senate have reached agreement on a framework that will pay for any final negotiated agreement.
I'm very excited about this.
It's not a done deal yet, but Democratic leaders sound confident about passing President Biden's Build Back Better agenda, including a massive reconciliation bill that would transform social and environmental programs and raise taxes on the wealthy. Republicans stand unified against it.
None of this, of course, will get a single Republican vote in either chamber.
And in order to get centrist Democrats to support it, the measure's $3.5 trillion price tag might have to drop.
Sometimes there's need for compromise from every end.
First, the House is set to vote on another crucial part of Biden's agenda, a $1 trillion infrastructure bill that has bipartisan support. But progressives warn they could tank it if their priorities aren't in the reconciliation bill.
We need to deliver both the infrastructure bill, but also the reconciliation bill to his desk, because we simply cannot afford to leave people behind.
President Clinton's former chief of staff this week is calling on Democratic lawmakers to scale back their $3.5 trillion bill. In a memo to every Democratic congressional office, John Podesta warned the party must unite or risk losing control of Congress. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
The hunt for Brian Laundrie is now in its 5th day. The FBI and police are using drones, ATVs, and K-9 units in hopes of finding the 23-year-old. Jonathan Seri has more.
Search teams continue to comb through a 25,000-acre nature preserve in Florida looking for Gabby Petito's boyfriend. Brian Laundrie's parents say he went there last week for a hike before going missing. But so far, the days-long search has turned up nothing of note. Authorities are using cadaver dogs to search the ground, as well as sonar and dive teams for underwater areas.
There's probably waist to chest deep water out there. I was out there in July and I actually had my dog with me, and it got up to almost chest deep water.
Neighbors of the Laundrie family tell Fox News that about a week after Brian returned from Wyoming without Gabby, he and his parents appeared to go on a weekend camping trip. William Guthrie says he was outside doing yard work and noticed the family loading up a camper attached to their pickup truck.
I saw them loading it up, and so I assumed they were preparing for a camping trip with their new camper.
They were going for the weekend.
Meanwhile, the FBI is seeking information from anyone who may have seen Gabby and Brian in the Grand Teton area last month. During one of the last times Gabby was seen alive, Brian was reportedly involved in an explosive argument with waitstaff at a Jackson Hole, Wyoming restaurant. An eyewitness tells Fox she believed Brian was arguing with staff about money and described his body language as, quote, aggressive. The FBI is hopeful these tips will help investigators piece together this case. In Northport, Florida, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
The Office of Veterans Affairs says between 11 to 20% of vets who served in Iraq and Afghanistan suffer from PTSD. An organization, though, in Albany, New York, is using service dogs to help. Jacqueline Kangro reports the organization is teaching the vets to train the dogs.
Training a dog isn't easy.
All right, come here.
Don't let Benny's current calm demeanor fool you.
Very energetic, always wants to play.
eats everything.
Good, now tell him stay again.
That's where Joni Bonilla comes in.
Good boy, Sarge.
Joni and her nonprofit, Operation at Ease, help veterans train their own service dog. A process she says is eye-opening.
The dogs just changed their lives.
Robert Odell served in the Army for 13 years, including a tour in Iraq. He's been working with Benny for about 6 months now, but the partnership almost didn't happen after he was concerned having a dog would only draw more attention to him.
I had backed out originally because of that, and then it was brought up again through some of the other people that I work with, and decided to give it a try.
Now he has a sense of companionship he didn't have before. He gets out of the house more, he talks to his neighbors, and he's able to do things that weren't always possible.
Little things he does, like I used to have to close my bedroom door and lock it shut, otherwise I'd be looking at the bedroom door all night. But with him laying in bed with me and having an extra sense of security, knowing that he'll hear things before I do.
Post-traumatic stress, it just wraps around you and it lies. It tells you that you're not going to have a normal life again, that you can't do what you did before, and I just feel like little by little we take those lies away.
Sit.
Each command
Good boy.
brings a new sense of calm, one some veterans have waited for.
It's been a big help for me. It's probably the best year I've had in a long time.
And there's plenty of appreciation to go around. Jacqueline Kangro, Spectrum News.
Still ahead tonight, an Indiana school district caught up in controversy after a teacher cut a student's hair without parental permission.
I feel disrespected. I feel left out. That you do something without consulting the parent. That's not your kid.
Why district officials say the teacher involved was acting with the best of intentions.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. We had some periods of heavy rain today, and that's why we had that flash flood watch throughout the day. Temperatures, as a result, were a lot cooler as well. In Elmira, reporting about 11 degrees cooler than yesterday afternoon. Corning about 8 degrees cooler. So it was a much cooler day with the rain that has been falling off and on. As we wake up tomorrow morning, it is going to be drier, but we're going to start off with a little bit of fog. But then in the afternoon, I think sunshine will win out. We are expecting a chilly end to the week, but we do have another shot of rain this weekend and also next week. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But this low pressure system has been moving through the Great Lakes region, sending this cold front through our area, and that resulted in a lot of rain along that boundary. As we make our way through tonight, temperatures will be diving down as drier air starts to move in as well. So as our dew points drop down into the 40s, so will our temperatures. We're going to start off with readings in the upper 40s as we make our way into your Friday morning. So it is going to be a chilly start to your Friday. That front will be well on its way out of our area, and it is going to be much drier. We may start off with a little bit of fog, but then as we head into the afternoon, I think sunshine will start to win out. So here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow. By 8 o'clock in the morning, temperature readings will be in the 50s. By 11 o'clock, 62 degrees. We do warm up into the upper 60s in the afternoon with plenty of sunshine as we head through the rest of the day. As we make our way into your Saturday, we are expecting another system to drive through from the west. So that will set off a few showers and thunderstorms as we head into your Sunday and Monday. So we do have chances of rain returning, but out ahead of that system, I'm expecting Saturday to be a little bit warmer. Tonight, though, it is going to be chilly, dropping down into the 40s, mostly cloudy conditions tonight, giving way to a little bit more sunshine by tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow around 67 in Elmira and Corning, 64 degrees in Bath, and also in Perkinsville, but a little bit warmer in Watkins Glen at 69 degrees. So temperatures will be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal for most of us. Saturday will be a warmer day with a high around 71 degrees after starting off in the 40s. Those overnight lows will start to climb up again as moisture starts to return. On Sunday, look for highs around 66 degrees and then a little bit more cloud cover on Monday. We do have the possibility of a shower or a thunderstorm, and then we warm up again into the 70s for the middle of next week, out ahead of another cold front that will arrive on Thursday.
An Indiana school district is caught in controversy after a teacher cut a student's hair without the parent's permission. It happened after an alleged bullying incident. The school saying the staff member in question acted with the best of intentions to support the student. Emily Longnecker has the story.
You see my son's head? This is unacceptable. He got bald spots here. These are nicks.
And what you see on this 17-year-old's head isn't from a trip to the wrong barber, says his mom, Nikki Battle.
Now it's going to take at least 2 to 3 months for it to grow back, at least.
Instead, Battle says this is the work of a teacher at Lawrence Central High School, cutting her son Jonathan's hair Tuesday. And that's not all.
He cut my child's eyebrows and facial hair. Sorry. And it looks bad. You have nothing to absolutely apologize about.
Nikki says Jonathan was in the process of growing his hair out so he could have it braided next month.
It was an afro. It was a big old beautiful afro. His hair was fine. There was nothing wrong with his hair.
But Jonathan says recently some students were making fun of him for it. It's not the first time the varsity wrestler says he's been picked on at school.
It's kind of horrible.
Jonathan's on the autism spectrum and says he's sometimes the target of bullying.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
And that's just what his mom says happened Tuesday when a student shoved Jonathan at school.
He tried to walk away, and that's when the kid pushed him, and he grabbed him in self-defense. So the school told me to come up there and pick him up.
When she did, Battle discovered a teacher had cut Jonathan's hair.
I feel disrespected. I feel left out, that you do something without consulting the parent. That's not your kid.
Battle says she's not surprised Jonathan didn't tell the teacher no.
He's not going to argue with an adult at all.
I was like, okay, he's going to fix me up, yeah.
The school district issued a statement saying they took the allegations seriously and investigated immediately. The district says the teacher involved acted with the best of intentions and was just trying to help Jonathan out.
He said that he was trying to do a good deed, but, that's not a good deed to me.
Now, Jonathan doesn't want to go back to school and instead wants to finish his senior year virtually. His mother is trying to convince him it's going to be okay.
You don't have to feel bad. It's okay. You did nothing wrong.
Every year, millions of children play organized sports. Joining a team keeps kids active and can also teach life lessons such as failure and teamwork. But being an athlete can sometimes be hard on mental health. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has tips from a psychologist on how to keep sports fun without the pressure.
Fall sports are back and the benefits are boundless for children who take part.
There's so many things that they learn as far as improving friendships. They learn how to problem solve. They learn to work as a team.
And sports keep kids active, but playing on a team can also be a lot of pressure. So how do you keep your child's head in the game while caring for their mental health? Dr. Stephanie Walsh with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Strong for Life says focus on fun.
Every time their kid runs out on the field, I want the last thing they shout to them to be, have fun. And the first thing they say to them when they come off the field is, I loved watching you play.
Practice plays a big part in sports, but Dr. Walsh says pushing a child to practice more can cause resentment and make the child unsure of themselves.
You're allowed to say, hey, we made a commitment. Can we talk about why you're feeling that you maybe don't want to practice or you don't want to do some of the things we talked about you doing, and ask them what's going on.
Dr. Walsh says follow your child's lead. They may need some downtime. And in sports, like in life, failure is hard, but it allows kids to learn.
Make sure that you're not blaming somebody for a loss. A lot of times we always hear kids say, well, the ref was bad, or one of the players didn't do well, and really pushing it off on the fact that sometimes you just lose a game.
But learning that lesson is a win in the long run. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A woman in Washington, D.C. struggling in floodwaters was asking for a higher power to help her, and that's when her heroes showed up. Mike Valerio has the story.
The Marines are going
to help.
It was during the deluge Thursday when Virginia said a prayer for help, and the Marines showed up 45 seconds later.
We figured it'd be a good idea to just lend a helping hand and help out our fellow Americans.
If there's anybody that's able to help them, it's going to be us, because you got 6 foot tall, 230, 240 pound guys.
Corporal Mitchell Weidowitz and Corporal Jared Tosner are both Marine Corps body bearers, an elite unit performing funeral services at Arlington National Cemetery.
Put it in neutral.
Yes.
Put it in
It's
neutral.
neutral. Thank you so much.
Virginia Waller Torres recorded the whole thing. It went viral on TikTok, and after a little Marine power set her free, a reunion with high fives and 2 hugs.
How are you? It's just about doing the right thing when no one's looking.
What the Marines didn't know is that Virginia's grandfather is a World War II vet, buried in Arlington. Her father is a Navy vet from the Gulf War. She was born in the Panama Canal Zone, and her father was overcome by her rescue.
And he called me back and he started crying because it was so emotional for him.
It was for Virginia, too.
I can't explain the words. I'm so grateful.
Of course. This should also be what's expected of just humanity in general. This shouldn't be an outlier case.
And if people just reciprocate that and do good on to others, I think our country's heading in a good direction.
Next year is going to be all about cool and refreshing colors. That's according to Sherwin-Williams. The paint manufacturer has chosen Evergreen Fog as its 2022 color of the year. Sherwin-Williams says the mix of gray and green color has a sophisticated, earthly feel that can be used both indoors and outdoors. The company has chosen a color of the year for the last 12 years. They start by looking at industry trends and emerging themes to create a color mix forecast. The 2022 forecast included 40 colors and 4 palettes. Hundreds of signs with positive messages can be seen around one Missouri town. Alan Shope spoke with the woman behind the project and found out what sparked it.
I feel like it helps people's mental health.
It's a project that was supposed to last just 4 days.
I honestly had no idea what it would turn into.
That was 5 years ago.
What people got out of it was they were inspired.
Familiar happy signs on streets in Lee Summit. Jennifer Hunsanger and her family started making them back in 2016 to remind folks to just be kind.
I didn't like to see the divide in our world.
Now, 5 years, 2 elections, and a pandemic later, hundreds of happy signs line neighborhoods all over Lee Summit.
We need that nowadays. Hope that it gives them a little bit of encouragement to get through their day.
I love just knowing that they're like impacting other people's lives.
All happy signs, more than 1,500 made and rolled out next to the street.
We're compelled to continue.
Jennifer says this box has really helped get the message out. Messages like it's really simple to be good to each other, or you've got this, even thank you. She says all messages that are important for people to see and read.
The world needs positivity.
And while several of the original 37 happy signs have faded a bit, Jennifer says the message never will.
These messages help them feel essential.
And that's all the motivation this project needs.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. How's this for a photo bomb? An alligator that looks like it's emerging from a street drain just as a police officer takes a selfie. It happened in Palm Bay, Florida. The police department posted the image to its Facebook page along with a funny caption. It read, quote, "When you're just trying to take a normal sewer selfie and you get photobombed, at least he smiled," end quote. According to the post, the gator was actually stuck in the drain. The department enlisted the help of a trapper to get the big reptile unstuck. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.